Reed & Taylor clearly is closest to me because I have seen it evolve from absolute scratch in '98.
Reed & Taylor.
Dress code, Reed & Taylor.
There was an event and something happened and somebody gave me a message and said that, boy, your daughter is clearly ahead of you.
A very honest person.
A value that I wish that they would always persevere with is honesty. Ralph Lauren is a great brand. I think it's one of the iconic brands in the world, and they've done phenomenal things.
When I wear, Loro Piana, you feel like a princess. It makes you feel like royalty. Of
course, enjoy it when you have it in abundance, but also respect it and keep it, watertight in your system, because it's very chanchal, as they say.
Lakshmi ji decides either to be with you or not to be with you. You really know her worth. She will respect you back.
We've known their brands for years. We've seen some extremely glamorous ad campaigns, but behind all that is a very hard-nosed businessman and now his children. Today on All in the Family, we're talking to Nitin Kasliwal and his daughter Anjani Kasliwal. Thanks so much for talking to us. Nitin, let's start.
It's a pleasure to be with you here today.
And this, I must tell you, it is a gorgeous office.
Thank you.
Very unlike a corporate office. I mean, corporate and yet very snazzy. Is that like your personality?
Well, it's, life is all about enjoying the moment and doing good things in life. We run luxury and premium brands, and so I thought the environment also where our top people are working must be a luxury premium environment, which lends itself to what we do and what we produce and to whom we cater to.
Nitin, you've actually been the face of S. Kumar for so many years. Also in your everyday life, what you wear, all that, do you pay attention to that?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question. I only wear what we produce, mostly wear what we produce and what we sell. I enjoy also then giving critical opinions to my teams as to what I feel is good, not good, because we travel a lot. We're exposed to a lot of other brands, other products. So to that extent,
bring that in,
we get a very good sense of what a luxury and a premium customer would like to have.
Anjani, how many years have you spent in the company? What is your role today?
Well, it's been 3 years now since university and 3 years since I've been coming to work full time. But before that, I started training with our branding and communications department right after school when I was about 15. And so since then, it's been part-time, but after university now, it's been full-time. And now I do more of the luxury retail as well as our branding and communications. And also we have a joint venture with this Italian group called Gruppo Coin for their brand OVS Industry in India. So I'm part of the management team there.
You have a son.
That's
who's
right.
Studying and training in London at the moment?
Absolutely. Karthikeya, our son, is studying in London. He's doing a business course in the Regent Business School. Plus he's also training in the DKNY licensed business that we have, which operates out of London.
It's a very great tie-up, I have to say.
It's a good tie-up, actually. It's a pretty good tie-up. It's a worldwide tie-up for DKNY menswear. So Karthikeya trains there whenever he gets time from his studies. But he's done a 2-year course in fashion management. Now he's doing a 3-year course in business management. The objective, actually, with both our kids is that they have to be trained and they have to get ready for, enjoying our business. But at the end of the day, us are being a completely professionally run setup. I mean, Anjani and Karthikeya both, of course, from an ownership perspective, they are by birth going to inherit that.
Yeah.
As whatever I own and in the company in terms of the equity. But other than that, of course, from a management perspective, they have to earn their way up. So even Anjani works as a professional in the group. Of course.
Is it a given that one of them will take over the company, or?
It's not a given at all. Actually, I would like it that they excel and then they prove themselves, and our top management teams and our boards would like to see them as taking over the CEO-ship at some point of time. But it's not a given, absolutely not. We already have a succession planning in place for the group in terms of management teams. We have very senior managers. We have 2 managing director level people running our textile and our apparel and our retail groups. So, there's a very strong management team in place. Anjani and Kartikeya, of course, Anjani herself has been working from a few years now. So hopefully, inshallah, in the next 7, 8, 10 years, and of course, her future husband, her permitting, she would.
I'm sure it'll be somebody who permits it.
I hope she makes sure about that.
Do you feel there's a lot of pressure when you come in as a promoter's daughter from a very early age? Because you're 24. You came in when you were 20?
About, yes.
So there's a lot of pressure, not just in terms of your work ethic, but also in terms of decorum, your manner, how you deal with employees, all that kind of stuff. So were you aware of that from day one? Did you get any lectures from your father?
They've always given me the freedom to do it in my own way. Sure. So I may have made mistakes, but they've let me learn from them. I don't think it's pressure to perform. But yes, there are certain expectations that, the management team and the board have from me to perform, and I think that's encouraging in a way. It just pushes me to do better.
Do you meet investors, shareholders and such?
I know about that side of the business, and I still have to get there. I have been on.
It's not her job today. I mean, this, like I told you earlier,
sensible too,
Angie is working as a professional, so she heads all our luxury retail, and she's involved in all our brand building.
Let's talk about your topmost contributing brands, and of course your upcoming IPO of Reed & Taylor. We're expecting that, what, January, February?
Yeah, we're expecting the IPO in Jan-Feb.
Yeah. And what size would it be?
The IPO is going to be about $200+ million.
What will you do with the proceeds though?
Yeah, for growth of Reed & Taylor, part of it we'll use to pay down debt in SKNL with the parent company, and most of it will be used for growth. Adding retail, adding brands. We're adding one more brand, they're called Kruger. We're adding more businesses, more distribution networks. We're also planning to globalize the Reed & Taylor brand, take it overseas. We're already working in the US.
To the US, right?
Through our subsidiary company there called HMX.
Yeah.
The Heartmarks Co-op.
Yeah.
Then we have Belmont.
Yeah.
We have Eskumars, of course, which operates at a different level of the market. And we have Kruger, which is the new brand we're launching. We have Uniformity by Belmont. We have Carmichael House, which is a home textile brand.
What do you think is going to drive the company forward?
I think each and every one of them has amazing potential to yet grow, and it always will as also the market grows. We've had Reed & Taylor now since 99.
Yeah, 98.
98 in the market. So that's one of our oldest brands.
Other than Eskumars.
Other than Eskumars, which, but as the market is growing and the consumers are becoming more brand aware, we just launched World Player a little while ago in the mass market. Now, that market is totally unbranded.
So we're the first national pan-India mass brand. In fact, our philosophy, and it's been my personal vision from the last 15 years, to be a clother to India and then to the world. And being a clother to India, we operate at all levels of the market. So the lower end, we operate the Eskumars brand and World Player by Eskumars. At the middle level, we operate Belmont and Uniformity by Belmont. And at the upper end, we operate Reed & Taylor, Stephens Brothers, Kruger. Then we have Dunhill, and several other brands that are coming in.
Right now, what is the mix of domestic?
In the current year, we'll have a mix of 70-30. 70% of our business, our revenues, current year's revenues would be about 5,800 to 6,000 crores, of which 70% emanate from India. So we have businesses in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and in Italy. Going forward, our aim is, we are at about $1.2 billion. In the next 5 years, we are looking at hitting $5 billion. So it will happen through a combination of organic and inorganic growth. And that, I think, will take our domestic and international, it should be about a 50-50 level going forward.
But you seem to be putting a lot of faith in the US as well. No one's really sure about the kind of recovery, right, that market is making. Europe is lagging behind also.
Of course, even at the current levels, the consumptions in the US and Europe are huge. Just to give you an example, the per capita consumption of clothing in the US is 45 meters per annum, as against 6 meters per annum in India, as against 13 meters per annum in China. So it's like if you go to, typically if you go to a Macy's, and if your brand gets accepted by Macy's in the US, Macy's has 900 doors, 900 stores. Even if 300 of the stores sell your product, you need a minimum of $200 million of wholesale value product. In India, the largest apparel brand in India is 300 crores.
Anjani, was it ever a thought in your mind that, you know, this is a very boring business? Or is it because it's brands and it's international, very sexy brands? Does that help, you know, in your decision to say, no, I want to work here?
Since the day I was born, I knew textiles. This is what we've actually been doing since before I was born.
Yeah.
So that was just in my blood. And fashion is something that, you know, fashion and luxury, and that's just something that we've always lived with. That's a part of us. Yeah. So it was a fantastic
clearly you like
mix.
The premium side of the business, clearly.
Well, I wouldn't be biased to any, actually, because like we have brands in every segment, and especially in India, the consumer is so different. Yeah. If I'm working with Reed & Taylor, it's very different from how I would handle, say, an OVSA, sure, which is in the mid-premium segment, or which is very different with how I would work with a Dunhill. So it's not the same thing that I'm doing all the time, which makes it interesting.
What you're seeing is a very unusual world map there. It is a world map, but what it's got placed on it is SKNL's brands, either its own or brands that it licenses. That is a fantastic map. Whose concept is it? Is it your interior designer? Or is
No,
it
it was our advertising team's plan. Actually, this is also the cover of our balance sheet. Right. So it's because we're closest to the world, so it gives the entire world's scope where, you know, all our brands are selling. Yeah. And inshallah, hopefully we'll keep adding more brands as we go forward.
You know, Anjani, you have a fairly strong advertising and marketing background as well, right?
Yes, I did my bachelor's in mass communication, so I studied mass communication.
What's your favorite campaign of the company?
This one I'm going to be a little biased on, yeah, because it's the first campaign that I worked on when I was training with our branding communications department after school. We did a Reed & Taylor ad campaign. It was the mind-blowing campaign. Bachchan uncle, I did have the pleasure of chatting with him a little.
I believe he's a thorough professional. Yeah.
It's amazing. Actually, he is a professional. He's punctual, and it's such a pleasure to work with him because you learn a lot as well.
We launched Reed & Taylor with Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. That's why our baseline is Born with the Best. Yeah. I mean, and that translates into many other things. Yeah. But because with Bond, we became a very urban brand, and we wanted to be in India. So from India, we wanted to go to Bharat. Mm-hmm. But Bharat is all of India, including the cities, and sure, India is only the cities. Yeah. And Mr. Bachchan, Amitabh Sahab, was the only one who could actually transcend across pan-India, across all ages, across all socioeconomic segments, and across both male and female. Yeah. Because in our products, a lot of the buying is also done by the females. The year we signed him on in 2002, we had a 40% increase in sales, and we have never looked back since then. You know, as far as the brand ambassadors are concerned, in the current crowded media environment, also the crowded environment of multiple brands, a good brand ambassador like a Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, like a Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, Belmont. We launched Belmont in 2006, and it's already a very popular brand in India in 4 years. With Shah Rukh Khan as a brand ambassador. We've used Hrithik Roshan, of course. We launched our brand Tamarind with him. We've used Saurav Ganguly. We've used Kapil Dev. We've used, of course, Amitabh Ji. We've used Sushmita Sen for Carmichael House. And, of course, Shah Rukh is our brand ambassador for Belmont. As we go forward, we're looking at, World Player also is being launched now. It's already launched, but the advertising campaign will be launched in Jan. And you'll have a very, very pleasant surprise being announced very shortly about who the brand ambassador for that brand is.
Earlier you were saying about succession in place and all that. You mean you've already put now your professionals in place?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
for the long term? At least for the next 10 years or whatever.
And we've had them from the last 5 years. We have a completely, like I said, we have a core team. The core team comprises of 7 people, myself, my wife Jyoti. Then there are 5 other people within our group who form the core team. Anjani and Karthikeya are not in the core team yet. So there are 7 people in the core team who actually decide all major, things for the group. So this includes our senior director at group level, Mr. Anis Fazalbo. It includes Mr. Anil Channa, our managing director. It includes Mr. Dara Vari, our director of corporate affairs, and Ashish Amin, who's our director of apparel. So, and myself and Jyoti. So we form this core team and then we decide. But the day-to-day running of the business is done by Mr. Anil Channa and Mr. Ashish Amin, and then Anis Fazalboy and Dara Vari at corporate level. But I get a lot involved in strategy, and I also get a lot involved in brand building, because that's a passion that I hold very, that's a task I hold closely to my chest. Of course, she's involved very much in the day-to-day.
Do you feel that,
in the day-to-day running of the business?
In terms of brands and apparel and marketing, and, clearly your father's very sort of...
I do.
She's more understated than you are. She's more conservative in replying than you are.
She's very smart. I'm not. I'm very impulsive. She's not impulsive.
She thinks very hard about what she's going to say, etc.
Yeah. That's what I said. I'm not a diplomat. I don't
think I'm a diplomat either, but no, brands and brand building and communication is something that has always interested me. My mum has handled that portal and still is very much involved.
Actually,
for the last
she's been active for
28 years and
longer, 30 years now.
30 years now. Dad, his passion for brand building is, I think, very unique when it comes to a businessman, because generally you see that, businessmen are either very business oriented and then, marketing is a totally different angle, or then they're very marketing oriented and numbers is a very different angle. But Dad has this unique mix of both, and that's one thing I want to learn from him.
A lot of brownie points.
Yeah.
She wants something from me tonight for sure.
So, you've had, just talking about the family a little bit, the Kasliwal family is a very old family in India.
Absolutely.
S. Kumar has been a very old brand in India.
Absolutely.
Of course, now your SKNL, your company is
started by my father in 1950. The brand, 47 and then 50, So it's 60 years old.
But along the line, you've sort of gone on, and now you've become a completely nuclear family, right?
Actually, we're a total of 5 brothers in the family. My father and uncle, between them, we have 5 sons. So now, around 2005, we realigned ourselves. So the family is one, but each of us have our own businesses that
from real estate, power,
and apparel, textiles. So we have different businesses which
in
different
fact, the school uniform making, manufacturing, school. That's actually not with you, right?
That's with another brother,
Yeah, that's with Mukul. And
that's right.
Right. So that's the only part.
Eskumar's brand, part of the Eskumar's brand. The Eskumar's brand actually is
part of a trust.
Is of course, it's part of a trust which all 5 of us own and control and can use in perpetuity. So that's my father's name. So it's very close to all of us.
And your SKNL, you're also renaming yourself to SKNL, right?
Well, SKNL is something that we are going forward with, and also not only that, we are a brands company. We are a brands and retail company. So we have 47 brands in our portfolio, and S. Kumar's is one of our brands. But then there are 46
many,
other
and
brands.
You want to be sure. And as far as family businesses go, do you think it's the most sensible thing you could have done to realign?
I think so, because we've now got the best of all worlds. I mean, everyone is growing, everyone is independent. At the same time, everyone is growing and
for your children, it's a very clear, chalked out path. There's no confusion.
Absolutely.
There's no room for hostility.
No, even otherwise, there was no hostility in our family, and there is none even now. But the question is, it's only wise as the families become bigger. Also, I think there is a focus that each member brings to his or own business.
But even ownership, everything is totally separate, right?
Yes,
you don't sit on anyone's boards. There's no cross shareholding.
No.
Have you taken that forward to your 2 children, like shareholding wise and all that, or not yet? That's going to go.
You mean in my group?
Yeah.
Well, I'm my wife's, she owns everything, so I'm her servant actually. And they'll have to beg her for the shareholding.
So all this that you were saying about your father, I think I would switch tracks to your mother, yeah?
No, but it's too early. It's very early days to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's
but
very
she's the chief shareholder in the, she's the
no,
biggest
that's,
shareholder in
I
the
mean,
company.
Jyoti and me both are, you know, we
Yeah.
are, Jyoti and me, Jyoti is my wife, Jyoti and me are together, of course, in the shareholding. And Anjani and Karthikeya, I mean, there's still, you know, a long way to go. I mean,
Is your brother a lot like you?
he's much smarter than her.
Yeah, he's much smarter than me. He's more disciplined
That's not
than
nice.
me.
I'm just
No,
joking.
I think we both have our strengths and
Weaknesses.
I think, yeah.
Is there a
strengths and
difference between like a boy and a girl in the family?
We've never felt that. I've personally asking, I've never felt that, you know, our parents have, you know, not allowed me to do specific things because
that
I'm
your
a
brother
girl
does.
yeah, there's never been a difference. It's, if he does, I do. Also, I think, you know, I mean, there's a 1 year age difference between my brother and I, and
So
therefore we've just
They've
grown
grown
up
up like
as
twins, yeah.
You know, we've done everything together. We are the bestest of friends, and I think that's also, as we've grown up, that's, I think, made life easier for mom and dad as well.
Who's more flamboyant, your father or you?
My father or me?
Who likes luxury more? Who likes the good life more? Let's put it that way.
Dad loves the good life. I do too. I do too. But I think we have a few, as we've grown up, you know, the kind of holidays we've done, the kind of cuisines that
You've been
our parents
exposed to,
have
yeah.
exposed us to, that kind of has taught us a lot. And we've started at a very young age, you know, whether it's going out to eat Japanese food, you know, or buying the best of luxury brands and, you know, valuing them. I think those are things that we've been taught from at a very young age.
It's not new, but at the same time, they have a lot of respect and regard for it.
And now you're actually, you know, distributing
And
the
now we
license
are-
for a brand like DKNY, which you've kind of grown up with.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that really helps is that as we've grown up and we've had all these things for a long time, but I think we understand it and appreciate it a lot more now, and value it a lot more, and therefore that understanding helps in, you know, when we're selling a product.
I can say that with pardonable pride that both our kids, though they've been exposed to the best in the world, they own the best things in the world, the way we've brought them up and the way they've themselves, a lot of credit goes to them. I won't steal the credit from them. A lot of credit goes to Anjani and Karthikeya, that they have really got an amazing sense and value and respect for money and for all good things and for all things in life. I have never ever seen them, you know, show off their stuff, because, you know, at the end of the day, you need to do it for yourself. You need to enjoy life for yourself, not to show it to others. I think that's what we've taught them, and that's what they've, you know, very, very nicely imbibed into themselves.
And that's really the makings of a true brand, understated in something you do for yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
In appreciation of quality and luxury.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you, Devna.
Dev. Thank you, Devna, for having us on
I
your
hope
show.
you've had
Thank
fun.
you.
Yes, thank you, Devna. It was very pleasurable talking to you.